Everyone loves ancient Greece, the birthplace of democracy, the cradle of philosophy, the home of the Olympics. We put it on a marble pedestal, and honestly, that pedestal was built by people who had absolutely no say in the matter. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. For the vast majority of people actually living in ancient Greece, life was not a philosophical debate by the fountain. It was brutal, short, and deeply unfair. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on 5 dark realities your history textbook conveniently glossed over. Buckle up. Number 1. The democracy was built on the backs of enslaved people. Ancient Greece has always been associated with democracy, freedom, and equality. But beneath those ideals lies a darker truth. The very society that vowed to die for liberty was sustained by enslaved labor. In Athens, roughly 1 in 3 people was enslaved. In Sparta, it was even more extreme. Enslaved people outnumbered Spartans 5 to 7 times, possibly over 70% of the entire population. And what did the great thinkers say? Even Aristotle believed the goal of a civilized man was to attain leisure to pursue higher things. How was that leisure attained? With slaves, of course. Number 2. The silver mines of Laurion were a death sentence. The silver coin, the trireme warship, the fleet that defeated Persia, all of it was bankrolled by the Laurion silver mines. Enslaved laborers worked underground in tunnels barely a meter high, hacking through rock by torchlight, breathing poisonous air. Children crawled into passages too tight for adults. Slaves were leg-ironed, starved, beaten, and seldom saw daylight. Life expectancy, roughly 4 years. In the 4th and 5th centuries BC, Laurion represented 25% of the Athenian state's annual wealth. The glory of Athens had a price. The enslaved people of Laurion paid it with their lives. Number 3. Women were essentially erased from public life. Half the population barely existed in the eyes of the state. Women were denied citizenship and held no legal or political standing. They could not attend assemblies, vote, or hold public office. A woman's name was not even to be spoken in public, for good reasons or bad. Think about that. You could live your whole life in Athens, and your name would never pass through respectable lips in the open air. Girls often married at 14, to husbands far older. Socrates got to debate the meaning of justice in the marketplace. His wife got to stay home and weave. Number 4. Childhood was a terrifying gamble. Roughly 1/3 of infants died before their first birthday. 50% of children did not reach 10 years old. That is not a typo. Flip a coin on whether your child makes it to their teens. Female babies faced an additional threat. Families determined at birth whether a child would be reared or exposed, abandoned. Girls were abandoned at far higher rates than boys, largely because of what they could contribute to the family. Infancy in ancient Greece was a life or death audition. Number 5. Sparta's childhood was its own special horror. At 7 years old, Spartan boys were taken from their families and enrolled in the agogoi. The state assumed total control. Life was intentionally harsh. Hunger, cold, exhaustion, punishment without complaint. Food rations were deliberately limited to encourage stealing. But if caught, boys were punished severely, not for stealing, but for being careless enough to get caught. Punishments included flogging, public humiliation, and starvation. One famous example, the ritual whipping contest at the temple of Artemis Orthia. A whipping contest. As a religious event. Completely normal. Move along. So here is the big picture. Ancient Greece gave the world extraordinary ideas: democracy, philosophy, theater, the foundations of science. That legacy is real. But it was built on enslaved labor, the silencing of women, devastating childhood mortality, and violence normalized at every level of society. The people who actually lived it, the miners dying underground, the women who could not speak their own names in public, the children who never reached adulthood, they did not get marble statues. They barely got a footnote. History is always written by the people with the time and power to write it. Now you know who gave them that time. If this video made you see ancient Greece a little differently, hit that subscribe button, because we are just getting started pulling apart the civilizations history loves to romanticize.